There was a king in Ujjain, his name was Bharatrihari. He's the one who wrote the Sringara Shatakam and later on wrote the Vairagya Shatakam. Sringara Shatakam is a composition of poems which are all about passion and erotica. Vairagya Shatakam is complete dispassion and renunciation. This is a king who was steeped in physical pleasure and he really living his life out. One day he went hunting and he shot a antler and killed it. When the antler fell dead, the doe, the female deer which was with it, refused to leave the spot. Risking its own life, it just stood there. This surprised the king. Instead of running for its life, it is just standing there to be shot. And in the process when this was happening, one of the soldiers who were hunting with him was bitten by a snake and he also died. When he died, his wife came and when they set him to flames, it was with great difficulty that they held her off the flames because she wanted to jump into the flames. So this just intrigued him. For him, his life was all about himself, his pleasures, his likes and whatever else. When he saw this doe and also this woman wanting to jump into the fire, this confused him. So he had a wife whose name was Pingala. So he was talking to her and said, today these two things that I witnessed somehow have set my whole mind into confusion. Then Pingala said, if two hearts have fused into one, then this is how it'll be. This is a natural reality. There's nothing amazing about it, there's nothing intriguing about it. If two hearts have really become one in their experience, this is how it will be. Very matter-of-factly she said this. So this further intrigued him, his wife also saying this. He has 500 women, he cannot understand this. So, on the next hunt when he went, he wanted to check this out. What he did was, he bloodied his clothes with animal blood and sent it back to the palace. And it was announced to Pingala that the king died, he was killed by a tiger. So when she got these bloodied clothes, she put it in a heap, she bowed down to it, then she did go and lie down on it. And she simply breathed her last, she died. When he came to know about this, it completely disturbed him so much that him whimsically trying to test her like this, and she actually gave up her life. And then he dropped his kingdom and he became a sage, and that's when he produced the Vairagya Shatakam, a great work of poetry. This is the nature of the feminine. That consequence is not the important thing. That moment's passion and love is more important than what is going to happen out of it. The calculation of what's going to come out of it, if it comes, that's very masculine. Masculine is always thinking about the consequence. The feminine doesn't think about the consequence, it's about what matters now. What you think or what somebody thinks is not the nature of the feminine. What one feels is the nature of the feminine. Should it not be tempered with thought? Yes, it should be when it comes to material aspects of life. But when it comes to life itself, if you're not feminine, then you cannot enjoy it. So this is the nature of the feminine, that it is capable of going beyond itself. Only that which is capable of going beyond itself is eligible for a spiritual process. That which wants to protect itself is not eligible for a spiritual process. The Shambhavi is something which can inflame the feminine in you. Because if you don't keep yourself aside, it cannot happen. It's not something that you do, it is something that you allow. That's the most beautiful aspect of Shambhavi is, you cannot really do it. Only if you allow it, it's like a flood. If you try to do it properly, technically, nothing will happen, because the practice itself doesn't do anything. If you allow it, then the innermost core, which is the basis of creation, finds full expression.
Today in this talk, I'm going to share with you the profound teachings of the Sage Bharatrihari. His teachings will give you profound insights into the nature of this world and into the nature of human existence as well. If you can apply these teachings, you can easily discover your divine, conscious, infinite nature. Bharatrihari says, recognize the transient nature of this world. Recognize the impermanence that surrounds you from all sides. In just a fraction of a second, what you call life can disappear. This is how ephemeral your life is in this world. Death can eat you up with just the passing of a moment. Just as a strong wind shatters a pot, death can shatter this human form in exactly the same way. So recognize this impermanence and discover your eternal, divine, conscious nature. To the one who has tasted the sweet essence of sugarcane, the whole waters of the oceans cannot attract him. Similarly, the world loses all its charm when you recognize your divine conscious nature within this temporary human form. The world tries to lure you into enjoying the sensual pleasures. But once you are established in your divine conscious nature, then these external waves of attraction and intoxication cannot affect you at all. Just as toys don't attract a grown-up person, once you grow up, you don't have to renounce your toys. They simply lose all charm. Similarly, when you are experiencing the bliss of your divine conscious nature, the pleasures of this world appear as no more than the droppings of a bird. When you indulge in food, sleep, and sex, that dissipates your precious life energies. That agitates your precious life energies. This is not to say that you should not eat food, nor does it mean that you should stop sleeping altogether. Nor am I asking you to renounce the enjoyment of physical union with your partner. All I am saying is, be moderate in these things. Don't go to the extreme. If you are really serious about your spiritual growth, then by all means avoid the extreme. Follow the middle path and discover the eternal peace and bliss of your divine nature. The divine is hidden in this human form. The real resides in this unreal form. The luminosity resides in this dark form. This is the greatest mystery, and you have to unravel it. This is the sole purpose of this human form, and not the enjoyment of the sensual pleasures. Use this precious human form to go beyond suffering. Use this human form to go beyond the cycle of birth and death. Use this human form to discover your divine, immortal, conscious nature. When you are endowed with everything on the material level, when you have everything that you can ask for on the material level, then that is the most important period of your life. Because then you can easily recognize that these material possessions cannot give you the lasting satisfaction. These material possessions cannot give you the true happiness. True happiness and lasting fulfillment can be had only when you discover your divine, conscious, infinite nature. Be equanimous in both happiness and sorrow. When things are in your favor, recognize that it's the mind which becomes happy and not the real, conscious, divine you. When something goes wrong, then too recognize that it's the mind which becomes sad and not the real, conscious, divine you. The real you is beyond pleasure and pain. The real you is beyond happiness and sorrow. When your mind remains calm and unruffled even in the face of adversity, when your mind remains absolutely silent and peaceful when somebody praises you, then know for sure that you are coming closer to your divine, conscious, blissful nature. A true spiritual seeker never craves for anything in this world. He or she knows that even if they get what they want, it won't give them the true happiness. He knows that true happiness can be found only within himself. Recognizing the fleeting nature of this world, he uses all his precious energies to realize his true nature beyond this body-mind complex. He puts in all-out efforts to recognize his divine, conscious, blissful nature.